No music today. Just not feeling it right now. But I will smoke Southern Draw, Rose of Sharon. Crazy, it's almost like a pencil. Odie! Howdy, sir. Huamenta Boris. Great day all. Odie, normally I would want to see Houston win. I'm just going to clear this real quick. Normally I would definitely want to see the Cougars win. Today I want to see the Bearcats win. I want to see them win because I want to see college football somehow screw up and say to all of the rest of the leagues, this is the SEC versus the best of one of the other big four conferences, and doesn't matter if you're undefeated, to hell with you, it's invite only. Just completely destroying the whole NCAA BS about this national title playoffs being any kind of anything other than unfair completely. Or I want to see the Bearcats going up against the biggest and best with the chance to prove that that undefeated record is not a fluke. Howdy, Joe. Be gnome. Yeah, Odie, don't get me wrong. Houston's not going to be just a chump team and lay down and take it, but Houston doesn't have anything past this game to play for, period. They win this game, they go and play their bowl game, and, that's it. Cincinnati has everything to lose. And what they've been showing this year is that they don't care what the odds are. They're still going to just go in there and smash the hell out of whatever team comes up against them. But then there's the other side of it. Houston just got off a game with Memphis. And Memphis and Houston traditionally do not like each other. And there's a few more unreported injuries on Houston than are commonly known or at least being talked about. Luckily for the Bearcats, they didn't go up against a team that tends to. The two teams beat the hell out of each other. It reminds me of the Raiders back in the 70s when, yes, you could play the Raiders. You might even win. But your next game was in question because your people were so beat up from playing the Raiders that there goes the rest of your season. Granted, that's not always the way it was, but that's the way Houston and Memphis tend to play each other. And Well, Houston and Memphis just literally played each other. So I definitely give the strong edge there to the Bearcats, who've been amazing all year long. I mean, undefeated at the college level is not an easy task. Now, if they go undefeated and they don't even get to play in the playoff tournament, that's it. I'm done with college football games until they get it straightened out to the point where it's 16 teams. That might seem like a whole lot of extra bowl games, but you know what? You can't legit tell me that a two-loss team is in there ahead of one loss and no loss teams. No, doesn't make sense to me. Now, sure, there's a lot of one-loss teams that I'm not going to say, oh yeah, they deserved it in this tournament. But Alabama, if Alabama is still in this tournament after they go on to lose today against Georgia, which I think is highly likely, and somehow Cincinnati wins against Houston and is not in the tournament, just go ahead and admit to the fact that it's invitation only. Complete farce. Boris, it's not pressure to fix the playoff system. It's pressure to do away with the whole entire system. I mean, if you're just going to basically say, oh, you're not in a good enough conference, sorry, you don't get to play. That's crap. That's crap and they know it. Hey, and how about that Big 12 championship game? Oh, that's right. They don't have one. They only have 10 teams, so they don't have enough teams to play a championship game. Unlike the Big 10 that has 12 teams. And I'm sticking to my statement about the Big 12, the last Big 12 game I actually watched. It was amazing, and the Buckeyes blew it. But I was always a Wolverines fan. Sorry, Odie, had to go there. Howdy, Sharon. Great to see you, ma'am. Honestly, Boris, I think Cincinnati's coach is going to stay right where he's at. And I'll tell you the reason why. He's finally got that culture of football right where he wants it. Proof of that is they're undefeated and looking at doing playoffs. The other statement there is they are about to go to the Big 12 along with Houston, and I'm trying to remember the others. I think it might be Central Florida and Brigham Young. I'm not sure about Central Florida or Brigham Young. I could be wrong about that. but I know Cincinnati and Houston are both heading to uh, the Big 12. Partly because UT, the real UT, just for those of y'all in Tennessee, not U10, but UT, the Longhorns, and Oklahoma, not Oklahoma State, but Oklahoma Sooners, they're both going to the SEC and have signed the paperwork to get out of the Big 12, and they have signed the paperwork to get into the SEC. So the Big 12 was looking at being an 8-team league, which would have effectively dissolved them. So they decided, instead of letting 2 go and only taking 2, that they would say, all right, y'all go ahead and go. We'll pull 4 and see where that takes us. And I'm going to make 2 other statements about the Big 12's decision. Howdy, Paul. Great to see you, sir. Statement number 1 about the Big 12. There is no way, shape, or form that they want UT, Texas A&M, and LSU being the biggest draw for Houston talent every year. Howdy, Steve. Great to see you, sir. Well, Boris, he's not going to be in the ACC. I'm not sure if it's next year or the year after. I know that there's a timing issue there where those 4 teams I mentioned already are going to be in the Big 12 before OU and UT take off. And OU and UT actually signed the paperwork saying, yeah, let's go ahead and take these 4 teams. So they're not leaving on bad terms with the league that they're leaving. They're just saying, hey, SEC's going to be the forever league to beat. We want a part of that. I don't blame them for wanting to be a part of the SEC. I mean, back in the day when teams were part of the Southwest Conference, that was the place to be at the time. Things change. Every couple of years, something else goes on. I mean, if you go back far enough, you'll note that Saban coached Michigan State and then left. And then went to LSU and then left. And then went to Alabama. Oh, he took a little side trip into the NFL there, but didn't do as well as he thought he would. Boris, I believe you're correct. Chip Kelly's going to do some interesting things there in LSU. But he better do them quickly. Otherwise, LSU is going to turn on him and just get rid of him. And LSU is a school that's like that. You win or go. They're not going to put up with mediocre. Howdy, Steph. Great to see you, ma'am. Steph, just let me know whenever y'all are ready to go live. And howdy, Skip. Good to see you too, sir. It has been a long week. I would love to think that LSU is not the shark-infested waters that they are, but it's murder on coaches. I mean, think about it. How long ago was it that LSU won the national title? And they're already getting rid of their coach? Agreed, Steve. Definitely agree with that statement. Very glad to see that Skip is back home safe. I'm going to say it. Southern Draw Rose of Sharon. First thing in the morning, cup of coffee. Excellent choice. Had it not been for Willie winning some cigars the other day, I wouldn't have been smoking this one yet. Howdy, Chip. Great to see you, sir. Ah, Boris, this one happens to be a Lancero, which I believe is probably the best shape for this because it really intensifies the flavors, but it actually has flavors all the way out to the Gordo size, which for Connecticut, that's almost unheard of. I mean, most Connecticut's, I can smoke them and be like, yeah, great, no big deal. It didn't taste anything. So you keep shrinking the size until you can get to a Lancero or a Lonsdale, because it will increase the amount of flavor coming through. The Rose of Sharon's the only one that I know of that I'll smoke the Gordo size, the 60 ring gauge, and not have a problem. I will still tell you that it is way better in the Lancero. Absolutely phenomenal in the Lancero. But you gotta smoke it first thing in the day. Or if it's not first thing in the day, first smoke of the day. Though there is some exceptions to that. If you decided that you're going to mouthwash and scrub those teeth and take some breath strips and do everything you can to not have a different pipe or cigar smoke already coating your mouth, you can still work with it. Boris, I always worry about Cuban Cohiba Lanceros anyways. Because I have a tendency to smoke wet. And I don't want to pay the price for a Cuban cigar that I'm going to smoke 1/8 of it and then it's going to plug up on me. If I could get them more readily here in the United States, then what? I mean, you pretty much have to damn near smuggle them. So it's just one of those that I normally steer well away from Lanceros. And even being aware of my tendency to smoke wet and attempting to change the way I smoke, I still see the end of the cigar changing colors from where the moisture of my mouth is starting to soggy up the cigar. And I'm doing what I can to not let that happen. Not that there's anything wrong with smoking wet or smoking dry. Your own taste buds and palates and saliva glands are going to dictate that for you. There's nothing wrong with it. I smoke wet. I know I smoke wet. I've known for years. And because of that, I tend to stay away from Lanceros, torpedoes, or anything that really comes down to a very narrow head, which the head is wherever you cut. Boris, that I've seen so many people reporting the same thing, which is sad. It used to be that Cubans were the finest examples of cigars, and well, under the embargo situation, a lot of their master rollers said, "We're out. We're going to other countries. Bye." They smuggled themselves out of Cuba and set up shops various different other places. In fact, the first cigar brand outside of Cuba is La Aurora. But they've been around for... I remember when the 107 anniversary came out, and I think they've hit the 115 anniversary. So, yeah, it's been a while. Well, Steve, I'm not really much for cottonmouth. Probably a good suggestion. Maybe some alum. Alum ought to work. That'll dry it right out. To the point you almost touch your cheeks together on the inside. I think I'm going to avoid the cotton ball, though. Yeah. Good thoughts, though. Good thoughts. I like it. Steph. It's because it was 80 degree yesterday, and it's going to be damn near 80 degrees today, too. I honestly believe that the mosquitoes around here only need 20 seconds above 65 degrees to hatch and become full-fledged mosquitoes. I mean, they don't have a long lifespan to begin with. But the speed at which they will go from, oh my God, it was 40 degrees, it killed off a bunch of the mosquitoes, to full flying swarms of them is ridiculous here in the Houston area. Gets above 65, be ready, mosquitoes are out. Drops below 45, no more mosquitoes for a while. Unfortunately, it drops below 45 and then jumps right back to 80. So much fun. Steve, I'm wearing shorts. It is a great day here in the Houston area. Except for that rain that's going to show up. According to my weather report, 3 o'clock-ish this afternoon. Oh, Boris. It'll be sometime in March when it gets back up to 65 after it gets into February. But I fully expect there was going to be some 65-degree days that are present all the way into January. Oh, if you have a warm May. Yeah, my normal winter is your normal summer. Oh. And I would feel bad for you if you ever had to suffer through my normal summer. Oh. There's days where it seems like it's a full-time job just going from your front door to your car just so you can go to work. Oppressive heat, high humidity. Me, I just love it. Boris, that is definitely the case. I would always suggest to anybody who's moving to Houston, scout the location that you're trying to move here sometime between 4th of July and the 20th of September. If you can handle the heat, you'll be fine. If you can't handle the heat, tell whoever's making you move here to forget it. It's not worth it. Oh, Odie. That sounds horrible. realistically, the worst part about a Houston winter is the unrelenting humidity. For most places, not all places, but for most places, as the temperature drops off, the humidity also drops out, and it tends to mitigate itself. Houston just never really gets cold enough that it's going to get there. Never drops out the humidity. Howdy, Jim. Great morning, sir. By the way, I got to listen to your whole, I would say watch, but it was more listen as I was doing everything else around the house. Trash out, cup of coffee, various different things. But yes, I got to listen to the video that Jim put out the other day. And I'm going to tell you, I was a little bit confused when I looked down at the screen after hearing someone say that he was Jim and somebody else say that he was somebody else. And at first I thought, did Jim get old? And then I realized, no, Jim's wearing the t-shirt. The other person's wearing the plaid. Almost had me confused there, sir. Oh, 10 degrees Fahrenheit. Boris, that's colder than the coldest day on record in Houston. Period. Not even a question of it. Also, Boris, do you still have daylight during your day? Or has it gone officially to full night for a while? Well, Jim, you look younger than I am. I think you actually are younger than I am. Could be that the red hair is just not showing gray. Good video, by the way. Even when you were like, well, I don't want this to go too long, and I'm sitting there going like, no, keep it going, keep it going. Oh, well, then you're older than I am. Meaning that I'm only 47. It was a good video. I even made sure to take the time at the very end of the video when you were showing the pictures. Was really into your scenery pictures. Looked like a beautiful location. Just 6 days of separation. Steve, I am completely okay with that answer. Whoever is telling you that they don't know much about cigars, and you feel like you're just repeating something that I've said, which is a legitimate statement. If they want to come talk to me about the cigars that I either suggest or recommend, well, they're welcome to. And it could just be that their palate differs from yours so greatly that the sticks I would suggest for you, Steve, are completely off for them. That happens. There's people out there that love infused cigars and will smoke all kind of those cigars. I am not a big fan of them personally. I've smoked many of them. But a lot of that is so that I know what I had on shelf, even if I didn't like it. Because how am I supposed to suggest it to somebody who will like it if I don't even know what I have? So look, seriously, I spent a lot of my time working in a cigar shop, smoking cigars. I hated and knew I wasn't going to like them. There's one called a Van Reef, also made by Drew Estates. Construction's great. First inch of the cigar is so sugary sweet that it's ridiculous. It almost puts you into a diabetic coma. And then it switches to straight cloves. And by the time you are done, you cannot taste anything but cloves for the rest of the day. Even tried mouthwash, and we're not talking the flimsy stuff. We're talking about the orange, yellow colored stuff. Oh, goodness, Boris. That would be some rough weather to live in. Lack of sunlight. And then during the summertime, lack of any nighttime. There's something that your body, the scientists have called it a circadian rhythm, and I don't know how to spell that. Don't even ask. But blind people often have issues with what they call non-24. Their body doesn't go to an actual 24-hour clock. And because they don't see sunlight or nighttime, it's very hard for them to stay on an actual circadian rhythm. But you get into those places that are above the north or south polar regions where you end up with daylight all the time or nighttime all the time for long periods of time, and it'll mess with your head. Seen the effects. Don't care to go back to them. Okay, so Boris, what you're saying is the ball kind of comes up and even actually fully clears the horizon a little bit, but then it almost immediately starts setting again. By the way, Boris, did Chelsea win? I believe they played yesterday. hard for me to keep up with every sport that I like, along with everything else that I've been doing lately. And by the way, real quick, I gotta go get something. Not yet. There are only 2 cigars left in the bag. One is a 1935 anniversary Monte Cristo. It is a very nice box press and super tasty. Oh, damn. I was hoping that they would win. And the other one is a La Gloria Cubana Series R. And it's the last 2 that can go out. They are Maduros. And no, sir, it is not the 1935 from 1935. It was built to the specifications of a blend from 1935. In fact, I do not believe that they box pressed cigars until about 1940 something or other. Now, I will tell y'all, I twisted an arm pretty damn hard. A guy named Phil. It's like, look, I don't want to be just giving these out to just Americans. I mean, I know I had to at least make sure that there's a lighter that's going to Charlie, but don't tell Charlie. Had to at least make sure that didn't go overseas, because there's a shipping code that goes with that, because it's a flammable fuel that is actually inside the lighter when it's sold, and it will get flagged. It will get flagged, and you'll never see that cigar that went with it. So I'm just letting y'all know that one could not have gone overseas. But I do see Boris and Paul and Sharon in here today. I don't think Chip's gotten a cigar. Now, Steph and Skip, I am not saying that y'all can't get in, but you've kind of said y'all aren't really into cigars, and I understand. And I'm not trying to cheat anybody at all. I mean, Jim got a La Bijou coming to him. I'm going to tell you that. Damn good stick, Jim. Ah, there I was talking and not smoking. Steph, I was in Anchorage once. Of course, it was during the summer, so. Well, I'm not trying to say don't go for it there, Paul, but well, Steve would like to be in. Steve, some good sticks there, sir. Chip, are you in for some cigar? Paul? Morris? Mike at Patch's Cellar? There's a 1935 anniversary Monte Cristo and a it is a box press cigar, full size. Now it's a Maduro. I don't want somebody to get a stick that's going to just completely blow them up. And a La Gloria Cubana Series R. And if I remember correctly, this is actually a natural wrapper, but it's very dark and quite large. It's got some strength to it. It's about a medium cigar, and the Monte Cristo is I'm gonna say it's just a shade past medium full. All right, so Mike's in. Paul, you sure you're not in? All right, so Morris is in, Paul's in, Chip's in, Steve's in. Okay. And here we go. What does the name Maduro actually mean? Not a problem, James. Great to have you here, sir. I know it might take y'all a second to look that up on the internet. I've got ripe and I've got aged. me see here.
Alive. She's alive.
Hey, baby. Well, unfortunately, it is not a single word definition. If we go by the definition given by the internet, Steve is very correct. It just means a dark cigar. But if you were to look at the root of the word, Mike is also correct. It does mean mature. By the way, howdy, Mike. I am your father. I can't do James Earl Jones. Can't do it. All right. So let me go with, it's going to be a toss-up between Boris and Steve. Ooh. Snowing in Langley, British Columbia. Howdy, Martin. Great to see you, sir. And so that we can get done with this, because Steph's on. Heads, tails. Boris, are you sure? Ring chains. Boris, if you're sure, I'll let it go with that. But if it's... No, that's just a lighter. Okay, well, Steve. I know I've shown this a lot lately. For Donald W. Hughes at gmail.com. Steve, send me an email or whatever, and we'll get that address out to Phil at the Briar Report just as quickly as we can. So, congratulations, Steve. Boris, brother, much love here. Well, I have to see if I can't do something for you somewhere, somehow. Martin, that should be 4 o'clock today. 4 o'clock. But with everything else, Skip and Steph are starting. And I believe that I'm about to be on Holly time. I think y'all all heard her open the door and say, "It's alive!" So, I gotta kind of finish up a cigar and get in there before I get into trouble. So ladies and gentlemen, it has been so much fun having y'all in today. I greatly appreciate it. I am not very good at these GAW things, and I apologize about that, being that these are kind of the first ones I've been involved with. Soon I'm expecting to get myself a job soon as the new Omnicron leaves us. And I promise we're going to try and do some more of these. I just don't know when that's going to happen. And all right, so everybody, y'all have a great day. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. We do really great with that. Obviously, Boris had a chance to win, and he said, "Nah, give it to Steve." This is the kind of love that YTPC is well known for. So, loved having y'all here. Y'all take care. Remember, go over to Steph and Skip. They should be live by now. And I will see you there shortly. Y'all take care. Remember, long lives, big bowls, and long ashes. See you soon. By the way, James! Thanks for showing up, brother. Later, y'all.